An exclusive news break on India Today. A topmost government official has made explosive disclosures on Pathankot terror attack. In a first, it emerges that the terrorists were specially trained at the airbase of Chakala or Lalpur in Pakistan for a month before the attack. The top government sources say terrorists were trained at the airbase of Chakala or Lalpur. They were not trained pilots. They knew basic structure of the airbase and how to harm aircrafts and other assets. They were specially trained to strike Pathankot Air Base. They had knowledge of the aircraft's positions, ammunition and petrol dumps at the Pathankot Air Base. This is the latest that we are getting from our top sources. Joining me for more on this, Shiv Arurayat, who is joining me from the newsroom. Shiv, these are explosive disclosures. The attackers, in fact, were specifically trained for Pathankot Air Base.
That is correct, Ankit. A very senior functionary in the Indian government who's actually part of this high-level investigation into what happened at Pathankot has revealed that there is reason to believe that the terrorists were actually trained over a month ago at an airbase in Pakistan. Now, this is the Chaklala airbase in central Pakistan, where intelligence reports suggest the training actually happened. As you can see, it's a military airport belonging to the Pakistan Air Force, and as you can see, there are many aircraft here. All of these belong to the Pakistan Air Force, some civil airliners as well. But in one undisclosed part of this particular airbase, if I could ask my camera person to zoom in just a little bit to give you a sense, it's not very different from the Pathankot airbase itself, Ankit. Now, this particular airbase was used as a kind of training ground for those particular terrorists, is what the intelligence reports actually say. And as you can see, they were specifically trained not just in infiltrating this particular base, but actually getting from the infiltration point right up to where the aircrafts were. Because as we've been reporting all this while on India Today, the real intention of these terrorists, Ankit, was to not just get into the base, not just inflict casualties, but to damage as many Air Force assets as reasonably possible. Now, we do know that this is the Chaklala Air Base. You can see a lot of aircraft here. They were trained in sabotage, trained in planting explosives, how to approach an aircraft and cause maximum damage in the least possible time, how to completely debilitate aerial assets without using too much of the explosives, economically using their ammunition to actually, inflict as much damage as reasonably possible in the shortest possible time. So this is the Chaklala Air Base. This base and another second base, Lalpur in Pakistan, were used as training grounds, according to this intelligence report revealed to us by a very senior functionary in the Indian government. Pretty scary scenario, because let's remember that in Pathankot, those terrorists were killed before they could get anywhere near the Air Force assets. But the intelligence suggests that from Chaklala and from Lalpur in Pakistan, they got perfect training, commando-style training, Ankit, to actually reach aircraft and destroy them.
Shiva, I request you to stay on with me. Joining me on the phone line is Sanjay Brata, Executive Editor, India Today. Sanjay, these are very serious revelations that have been made by our sources to India Today. This is going to give more ammunition to National Security Advisor when he speaks, and the Prime Minister, who has asked for assurances and action as far as Pakistan government is concerned.
Definitely, Ankit, the deadline had been set that they had to deliver in terms of they had to make arrest of those as were done after the Peshawar attack in Pakistan, and their properties has to be seized within a time limit, because 15th of January Foreign Secretary level talks were supposed to be conducted in Islamabad. That would happen until Pakistan delivers. So time is running out, especially for Pakistan and India and Pakistan relations.
Sanjay, I request you to stay on with me. Shiv, just taking this forward, these are absolutely undeniable links, undeniable proof that sources are telling us that Pakistan's state involvement, Pakistan armies and armed forces involvement in the terror attack.
Absolutely. Who else would have had access to a base like Chaklala or Layalpur, completely controlled by the Pakistan military? This particular base, Chaklala, where you can see all these aircraft, Ankit, is completely controlled by the Pakistan Air Force. So there's no way that, terrorists of any kind could have gained access, far less use this as a training ground without the complicity, support, funding, training and sponsorship of the Pakistan military and the Pakistan ISI. Now, Chaklala has a historic significance as well. It is a base that has been used in the 1965 and the 1971 wars. Since then, it has housed many military transport aircraft, some fighter aircraft as well, and is also quite, a busy civilian airport. The technical,
Yes.
it has, so like Pathankot, Ankit, it has a technical side and a domestic side.
Yes.
So it must have been the perfect training ground as far as, getting these terrorists to train them to access the domestic side, which is less protected, and then cross the entire campus and get to where the aircraft actually are. So totally explosive. I mean, it gives you a sense of the level of preparations that actually went into the Pathankot attack. Of course, nobody thinks that this was a one-off thing. This was something
Absolutely.
that was not planned at all. But I think the information and the inputs that our Sanjay Bragta has just brought in basically suggests and throws light on the level of commando-style training, the level of backup planning and foundational understanding these
Absolutely.
terrorists were given before they were sent across the border.
Sanjay, of course, the information that you've got is only going to strengthen India's claim. But does this also mean that the Pakistan army, which many were saying that this time they are on board, there have been assurances given to Prime Minister Modi, it still seems that Raheel Sharif is not on the same line as the Prime Minister of Pakistan?
Definitely, Ankit, that Chief is pointing out that if they were trained inside the air base, Chaklala or Layalpur, so definitely there was full support of the armed forces or the air force of Pakistan, obviously ISI of Pakistan, and in that case, it's clear that Pakistani army establishment is still not in favor of peace talks between India and Pakistan, and there are elements who wanted to derail these talks between two countries, and that's clear from this relation that they were highly trained in the air bases, which is obviously the state subject of Pakistan.
All right. Thank you so much, Shivarur and Sanjay Bragta, for bringing us this explosive story on India today. In fact, undeniable link of Pakistan armed forces, Pakistan's ISI and Pakistan's military bases, Air Force base, being used as a training ground for these terrorists, those who attacked Pathankot.